down by your side. Who's going to be my pregnant person? Who's going to volunteer?
I'll be pregnant.
Go on, thank you, Nikki.
I'll be pregnant.
Girls, you can stand on the floor if you wish. If you want a little bit of a challenge, come onto the mat. So I'm just going to leave that up to you, whether you're in standing or whether you are on the mat or on the floor. Girls, some of you look like your legs are a little bit too wide. If baby's just really low, Nikki, and you feel this is right for you, do. But I'd like you to bring your feet in line with your hips, okay? If it's not comfortable, go back to the previous movement. Arms down by your side. Because I'd like you to just relax the jaw. Physically feel where your hands are, that your palms should face the side of the trousers. And your weight, girls, is equal between both feet. So I would like you to do a little, bless you.
Sorry.
How's your pelvic floor? So I'd like you to do a little up and a little circle back. Coming forwards, please, and a little circle back. So we're just getting a little bit of movement through our upper back. Girls, can you manage to move through the upper back without having to get a lot of movement into your lumbar spine? Especially my pregnant girls, Nikki, you're watching that you're not moving back as you do that movement. Would you do one more and recover? Then start to lift the right heel and place it back down. You're all right, my darling. Start to lift the left heel and place it back down. So girls, as you're doing this, feel the weight is going through all of the foot. The weight's not just going into the little toe. Oh, I heard that then. The weight is going through all of the foot, and it's as if you're directing your knee in line with your second toe. Folks, you're looking fabulous. Seriously, you're looking really good. Your all fours was a bit rubbish, but this is stand up. So as you're lifting your heel, I want you to feel that your pelvis is really still. So would you do me a favour, just put your hands on your hips. You're keeping your pelvis as still as you can. Okay, folks, I am going to pretend that Nikki is in her 3rd trimester. So she is more than how many weeks of pregnancy? She's more than 28. So she's going to be more than 28. Okay? So as you're lifting your heel, staying with this. Nikki, I want you to stay with this for me. Folks, if you feel comfortable, we're going to move on. If you don't feel great today, you stay with Nikki. You're going to lift the heel. We're going to bring the knee up in line with the hip, so it's a standing knee lift. So you're lifting the heel, you're bringing the knee in line with the hip. Girls, I'd like you to focus that are you swaying? Are you doing this? That's good. If you're getting that little bit of a sway, that's great. If it's unpleasant, go back to just lifting the heel. Try not to let the hip hitch. So you're lifting the heel, bring the knee in line with the hip. Excellent, much better on that side. And folks, your knee doesn't need to come any higher than your hip, so you sway. Not good on that side, don't bring it quite as high. And let it go. Girls, you are breathing normally. We've got several more. Folks, just let's talk to you. Could somebody do this in first trimester? Yeah. Could they do it 13 to 20 weeks? Yeah. It depends, but it don't really depend on the bump, because the knee should come, if the knee's touching the bump, the leg's too high. It should be no higher than hip height. Yeah. Okay, keep going for me. Could they do it 28 to 36 weeks? Could they? Yeah. Physiologically, if their stability's okay, they could. Physiologically, they could. But I decided to keep Nikki like that because a lot of people can't. Because the tummy might get in the way by that stage, or it might be that the pelvis is just not stable enough. Yeah? Okay, have a rest. Girls, I'd like you to take one arm forwards, one arm behind. So as you're taking one arm forwards, and really straighten your arms for me, team. So it's gorgeous to have these ballet arms, but I want you to get them really nice and straight, leading with your thumb, shoulders away from the ears, and I just want you to breathe. Troops, we're going to start to rotate the rib cage. Keep your head still. I know it sounds daft, but imagine like tying in a dishcloth and then letting it go. So as if you're just tying through that dishcloth, screwing it up in the middle, and then switch. So that head stays facing forwards. Girls, start to let your hips move if they want to. So if your hips feel that they want to move, let them. Okay. So I want you to keep doing this, keeping the head still. Nikki, would you stay with that for me? Because I know you're having a little bit of issues with the pelvis. Try and relax the shoulders. Everybody else, would you step your right leg forwards and do the movement? So we've got a little bit more stability going on through that back leg. But Nikki, because I know your pelvis has been bothering you, we're going to stay like this. Just try and relax the shoulders. Do a couple more for me. Team, everybody can do this if they wish. We're going to start to rotate, palms up, your chin slightly nodded, look down at your thumb. So keep changing sides, rotate and lift. So as that arm goes behind you, the thumb's up. So you can do this one with me. So you're just looking forwards and then you rotate, look at that back hand, come down. Okay, girls, I want you to keep doing that. Rest if you need to. Nikki, if you feel you need to take a drink or have a breather. Girls that are in standing, would you change legs? So those who are in standing, just change legs. Start the movement again. So Nikki, you're letting your pelvis move. Everybody else, because we've got this position, you're not allowing your pelvis to move. It shouldn't do. And as your arm goes behind you, have your thumbs up. So turn your hand around, so your thumbs are up to the ceiling. That's it. And it's just stretching through that chest. Breathe normally. Get as much rotation through the ribs as you can. Nikki, don't be afraid to let your pelvis move a little bit on this. Your movement might need to be a bit smaller. And let's finish off on the left-hand side. Those are brilliant. And come back to centre. Team, just circle through your shoulders. Take your feet back to hip distance. Girls, bend your knees a little bit. Just visualise you between two panes of glass. Girls, take your thumbs on your ribs, your fingers on your hip bones, and feel like you've got a straight line. Nikki, I know yours is going to be a bit further apart. Arms down by your side. We do a little tiny side bend right. Come back to centre and feel your head goes with you. Nikki, on this one, just tuck under a little tiny bit. Feels if you draw baby in, so you're just getting a bit of length through that lumbar spine. Everybody else, if anybody feeling any pain in the lower back, rather than just stiffness, would you join Nikki and just tuck your pelvis under slightly? But if it feels good, Nikki, you're staying with that range of movement. Let yourself go a little further if it feels okay, but you use that little tuck under. Girls, if you're feeling okay, your back's feeling okay, your shoulders are feeling okay, let's start to take the hands to the head. And girls, as you go over, feel like you've got water in your ear and you're just letting the water pour out of that ear, keeping the pelvis as still as you can do. If it's bothering your back, please join Nikki and I with our arms down. Make this your last one to your left-hand side. Beautiful. And come back to centre. So Nikki, I want you to just go to the wall, just so you can put your hand on the wall if you need it. Folks, take your right foot directly in front of your left. And Nikki, because your pelvis isn't so good at the moment, just take your feet slightly apart. But if you feel comfortable, you can come back into that full tandem. If you feel that you're balanced, you can let go of the wall. So team, you've got your weight equal between both feet. Keep looking directly forwards for me. If it feels comfortable, take arms across chest. And Nikki, if you feel comfortable, you can do the same thing. So girls, you're in this position here. Just distribute your weight into your front leg. Come back and lift the front foot. So you're doing something called a tandem stance. Shifting forwards and shifting back. Okay, Nikki, I want you to just have a rest and shake out for me. If you need to get a drink, get a little sip of a drink. Team, you've got a couple more. So you're transferring your weight forwards and backwards. We're doing some pelvic stability, team, and let it go. Beautiful. Circle and let's change legs. So Nikki, you're joining us again. Use the wall if you need to. Folks, you can have your feet apart. Nikki, if that feels comfortable, feet apart. Everybody else, you can do that as well. If it feels comfortable, go into a straight line. Arms across the chest. Hold that position. So you're just breathing and holding that position. If it feels comfortable, start to transfer your weight forwards and start to transfer your weight back. To everybody, but particularly Nikki, if you don't feel good, stay with that. Girls, if you can do, just feel you're distributing that weight a little bit further forwards, weight a little bit further back. And I want you to just breathe subconsciously for me. And come back into centre. Girls, redistribute your weight, just have a little shake out. Take your right foot forwards, so right foot forwards. Girls, just let me show you real quick. If any of you don't like the next position, would you do a double leg squat? I know everybody's done it before, so if you don't like it, if your foot doesn't like it, if you just think, I don't want to do that today, you just do a squat instead. Nikki, you weigh those as well. Just watch your knees on this. Shift your weight forwards for me, girls. Take your left leg out to the side. So you take your hands on top of your pelvis. Nick, if you feel you want to support baby on this one, you can do. And just watch me first. The bottom's sitting back. I do a little tiny knee bend, and then I come straight back up. So when you're ready, think of the pelvis being level, this little connection, and let's send the bottom back just a wee bit, as if you're trying to touch the wall behind you, and come back up. So you're going to do that again. Girls, if you don't like it, go back to a squat, bottom sitting back. Beautiful. So what I'm doing, team, is I'm going to communicate with my client, ask her how her pelvis is feeling. She says it feels all right. So she can come a little bit lower down. Fabulous. Girls, if your knees feel okay, can we all do it with arms across chest? Nikki, you just do it how you feel comfortable. Let's start to come a little bit lower down, little squat. So Nikki, you're keeping that range of movement smaller. Team, if you're feeling it unpleasant in your knee, keep your range of movement smaller. And just feel that that left hip is dropping parallel with your right. Lovely. That little connection between hip and ribs. Girls, let's start to add your arms. So take a little breath in as you come down. Little breath out as you come up. Speed that up for me. Little breath in. Try and get both the knees to go directly forward, so that left knee's not having a kiss with your right. I'm going to ask my pregnant client now to have a little rest and have a drink. Girls, if it's hurting your back, stay here. If you feel you can, start to take your arms higher up. Would you let the pregnant lady, if Nikki was all right and she was carrying on, would I let Nikki take her arms right up? No, why not? Hyperextension, yeah, and she's probably going to feel too much loading in her back. Make this your last one for me, please. So Nikki, when you feel ready, I want you to carry on doing this. Everybody else, let's hold this position, arms across the chest, left leg, lift and back, lift and back. Lift and back, and again, lift and back, go again. So Nikki, you're doing that little tiny lunge, and we're really going to strengthen through the glutes. Girls, if you feel good, carry on. If you want to rest, have a rest. Could you do your arms? Switch, switch. Nikki, I want you to use your arms for me. So arms just to shoulder high. Last two, last one, and would you like to rest?
Yes, please.
Right leg, yes. Okay, so they've done a lot of work on the right leg. Now, I want to overload you guys, but I'm aware that if she was in a third trimester, she'd be knackered. Yeah? So she'd not be knackered. So I would do something like a spine twist again, or some different movement before I went on to that other exercise. And then, because it wouldn't do you any harm to have a bit of a breather. You know, maybe we could have done a band pull, or done a dumb waiter, or do something that gives them a rest, because your heart rate's not going to be up that much, but her heart rate's going to be up quite a bit. Yep. Obviously, you would do it on the other leg. Let's just have a quick look at this one. Does that help to sort of show we start off the base and then move along? So if you do this one, I'll just show you real quick. If we're coming onto the side, and the girls chose side leg series, yeah? Can I do this if I do it properly, not like the picture downstairs? Can I do this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. In fact, not only can I should. Yeah. What about as I get further on in the pregnancy? How are you going to adapt it?
Cushion under the tail.
Pillow. Yeah. So you might put a pillow underneath the waist.
One in between the legs,
Right,
so they don't come too far down.
And the flatter the better. So the flatter the better. And then they might need a little bit more. So if I need it,
Under the hip.
Hello. I could maybe use it. Maybe that'd just be purely for comfort if I needed it.
It's all right, isn't it? Bit of comfort, it's all right.
You don't need the pillow between the legs, but if they've got a little bit of symphysis pubis,
so they don't.
then you can. I'm lifting and flexing and coming down. Can I still carry on doing that?
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Lengthen, flex and coming down. Could they carry on doing that all the way through the pregnancy?
What about the one side?
The right side.
You know, are they supposed to just stay on the left side?
No, it's only if they were feeling that they were going to pass out that you turn on. So, good question.
Okay.
But so they can exercise on the right side.
Okay.
Yeah. But it might be if somebody's got severe problems with spinal hypertension, sometimes it can be on the right side, but it's very rare. Only ever known one person.
So they're okay lying on either side?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there any limited time that they can lie that
No,
long?
they should be okay. But again, I would look at not keeping them in one position for too long. Okay. So do you feel that that's okay to do all the way through?
Yeah.
Okay. Some people say when they get more pregnant, bend the leg more. But actually, the further on they are in the pregnancy, they don't need no balance, because the tummy just balances them. And also, if you bend the leg, I'm not saying it's wrong, but if I bend the leg, look at the range of movement that I've got. So actually, for non-pregnant women, that this or men, that this is actually giving me a bigger range of movement. Look how much range of movement I've got there, as against, because I'm doing more adduction on the way down to abduction, but I've got less stability. So this is making me work harder. But if it was that I just wanted to use the glute med, it might be that I want to do a bigger range of movement. But with a pregnant lady, they don't need more balance in that position because they are fairly balanced. That's one thing that they're better at. Sorry,
I was just going to say about the side leg series 2.
2, yes.
Would you...
Yeah, absolutely they could do it unless they've got pelvic girdle pain. Yeah, I probably wouldn't encourage them to do the second leg in the 3rd trimester. So maybe in the 3rd trimester, I would be either getting them to do single leg or get them to do lengthen. So can you see I'm not lifting both legs, I'm just lengthening. Yep.
Yeah.
But I would be, as long as they didn't have any pelvic girdle pain, I'd be happy for them to lengthen the bottom leg, draw together and release. What we're not trying to do is break any world record, and it's getting them to lengthen the leg before they squeeze together and down. But if they've got any pelvic girdle pain, and as they were doing the second leg, I'd be saying, does that feel okay? Once they get beyond 28 weeks, I probably would be doing top leg or both legs together. And just as a quickie, I teach this a lot if I've got a pregnant lady. Lengthen your legs. Feel like you're making the legs longer. Keep this little connection and let it go. Just make the legs longer. Take an out breath. Breath in, relax. And then I'll say, if you need to, you stay with that. My pregnant girls stay with that. Those of you who can do, you're going to lengthen the legs and lift. So they're almost doing exactly the same exercise. And it means that everybody else gets the movement rather than just lifting the legs straight away. If they get that lengthen and lift, they get a much more effective workout through here than just lifting the legs up and down.